Hi again, this is Reese Fun Stampers Journey Coach, and in today's video I want to show you the beautiful February bloom box. I have never made a video of myself putting the bloom box together, but I thought that I would show you how easy it is and what beautiful creations you can make. And for those of you not familiar with the Bloom Box, it is a subscription program. Each month you receive an exclusive stamp set, 4 pre-cut and kitted cards, and easy to follow instructions. These stamp sets will not be available to the public till 3 months after they have come out on the Bloom Box. So you are one of the first few to be able to play and create with these. As you can see, the kits contain everything you need: cardstocks, embellishments, everything's pre-cut, and all you need to supply are inks and also adhesives. This is the supply list for the month of February. And this is the first card I will be making. It's the first one in the instruction booklet. The first thing I do is take everything out of the bag, look for the embellishments, and I find the sequins in another of the bags for another card. This is common if most of the cards in that kit will be using the same embellishments. So if you don't find it in the first card kit, just go ahead and look in the other ones. You will find it there. You have a supply list, but here I just wanted to show you what the items look like that you will be using. Some of the other ink pads will be shown in the other segments for the other cards. And the first step says to stamp the thank you sentiment onto the lower right corner, and that's what I do. And then it prompts me to stamp the butterfly with some of the wings sticking out of the frame, and that's the next step. After this, I will be coloring the butterfly using a technique with the watercolor pencils, in which you use the blending brush and water and just kind of bleed the pencils onto an acrylic block, and I will be using those colors to color the butterfly. I try to stay as close as what the picture shows in the instructions, but you are free to color it even different colors if you wish. I just try to stay as close as possible as what the pictures show, and here it tells me to do a little bit of splashing onto the card. Next, I will be adhering this with foam squares to the card base. Next, to add more dimension, it tells me to use the silk in silver and just do a little bit of splashing. And with the craft glue, I will adhere some of the sequins, and I try to copy the same order as in the instructions. And with the last step comes the journey glaze. You will apply it on the edges of the butterfly and some of the sections in the inside of the butterfly, and using the sparkle cuts, sprinkle throughout, and it will stick to where you put the glaze. This will create a very nice sparkle. And the last step is to put it on the sentiment, and now your card is ready. And this is the second card in the instruction booklet, and these are the supplies. I have everything except the pretty amethyst, so I will be using lavender fusion instead. I take everything out of the baggie and start stamping as the instructions say with Riverstone ink on the cardstock, and then using the same coloring technique as previously, using the same color pencils, I color as closely as possible to the picture shown in the instructions. But once again, feel free to use different colors or add different accents if you wish. Next, I start working on the background. I use the bubblegum ink and stamp a few of the butterflies, and then using the lavender fusion instead of the pretty amethyst. It's a little bit darker, so I stamp on the paper pad first and then onto the cardstock. Now I cut around the butterfly using my scissors, and then using my crease tool, I will bend the wings back a little bit just to give it a little more dimension. To create the crease on the card base, I am using my paper trimmer, which also includes a scoring blade. And now using the tape runner, I am adhering the background to the card base. Using some foam squares, I will adhere the circle And cutting the squares in half, I will put that to the back of the butterfly as well. And there you saw me stamping the sentiment with black ink. Using Journey Glaze, put it around the edges of the butterfly, and just as previously, use the sparkle cuts on the glaze, and then just on the word beautiful of the sentiment. With craft glue, I will add some of the sequins. And that was the last step, and now I have my second card done. When I saw the previews of this bloom box, I was very excited about this particular card, so I couldn't wait to put it together. These are the supplies that you need for this card. And as previously, I take everything out that I need first. And the first step is just to stamp the sentiment, which I did. Then you only need to stamp half of the butterfly on the two different cardstock that they give you. I decided to color these at the same time just to make sure that they match. Well, they match as much as possible, I guess. After this, then I cut as instructed, starting with half of the butterfly. Make sure you get both of the antennas in. Using the crease tool, I added some dimension to the butterfly by bending the wing back. And as you can see, this piece already comes embossed for you. Now it's time to add some of that satin ribbon. I am not a good bow maker, so this was a little bit challenging for me, but it got done. Added some silver silk to the die cut piece, which will be adhered to the embossed layer using some foam squares. And by the way, the pink layer was adhered to the card base using foam squares as well. Adding some more foam squares to the sentiment. And then to the little body, the middle of the body of the butterfly, you add foam squares as well. And as with the other cards, use some of the Journey Glaze to add some of the sparkle cuts to the edges of the wing, and then to the entire sentiment. And our third card is ready. And this is the last card in the kit, and I was excited because it called for a new technique I've never done before, using the white liner sheets and the sparkle dust. Here I wanted to show you the difference between the sparkle dust on the left and the sparkle cuts on the right. As you can see, the sparkle dust is much finer, and they both give you different effects, so they're a lot of fun to use. Here I am working on the background using the Riverstone ink, and with the same ink I will be stamping as directed onto the white cardstock. And the next step was to stamp onto the liner sheet, but I did it backwards, so make sure you stamp on that side with the print. It still worked, but it was a little more difficult since the stamped image was running a little bit. This creates a very sticky surface, so now when you put the sparkle dust and you varnish it with your fingers, it will stick to the image. So it gives it a super neat look, as you can see here. And now I just have to put the card together. I adhere this to the background by using some foam squares, and then of course stamp the sentiment. Using some of the glue dots, I apply the sequins to the body of the butterfly and some craft glue to adhere it to the cardstock. And now add some Journey Glaze to the entire sentiment. You will have some left over in the baggie, so make sure you save it for your next project. And these are the 4 finished cards that you can make using the February Bloom Box kit. If you would like to purchase this kit, please go to funstampersjourney.com/Reese and click on Bloom Box Kit. It's very easy to sign up for, and you get the kit in about a week after you purchase it. I hope you give the Bloombox kit a try. It's a great value. You get to learn about new products, new techniques, and if you get some of your friends to purchase it with you, then you have another opportunity to get together once a month to put the kits together. If you're on Facebook, visit and like my page. I have the latest promotions and events information. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please message me or email me to annareese@annareese.com. I hope to see you next time. Take care of yourselves.